Minasan, ohayo gozaimasu. Welcome! This channel is for Japanese learners of English. Hyomo shadowing no lesson will yat ikimashou. Listen to today's real native conversation. Focus on the rhythm and shadow along. Practice daily to master tango, bunpao, hatsuan, and rhythm. Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Zei. Chenaru no toroku. Wo onegai shimasu. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
So you've got a team member who needs some guidance, but they speak English. It's a pretty common situation these days, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just about using the right words. It's about making sure the instructions are clear, concise, and, actually understood.
Exactly. And that can be tricky, especially when you're dealing with cultural differences and language nuances. Where do you even start?
I think the first thing is to be really clear about the task itself. What exactly needs to be done? Don't leave any room for ambiguity. That's where a lot of things get lost in translation.
So specific details are crucial, right? I mean, this isn't really cutting it.
Not even close. You need to spell out the what, the why, and the how. The more detail, the better. Like, what's the end goal? Why is this important? And what are the specific steps they should take?
So like breaking it down into tiny actionable steps and making sure those steps are, logical.
Exactly. It's all about structure and clarity. Then comes setting a time frame and making sure everyone understands the deadline.
Ah, deadlines. That's another area where communication can get tricky. Is it due on Friday or by Friday? What's the difference?
Good question. Using due on means that the deadline is specifically on that date. By means no later than the end of that day. So it might not be clear, depending on the person.
Right. So clarity in language is important, but also clarity in expectations.
You got it. And that applies not just to deadlines, but also to the content of the work and the expected standards, too.
Okay, so we've got the task, the steps, and the time frame down. What next?
Well, communication, of course. You need to be able to check in and make sure that they are doing okay. It's not just about giving instructions, it's about being supportive, right?
So it's not just like a one-way street where you're just ordering them around. It's more of a collaborative process?
Yes, like guiding, not just ordering. And making sure there are avenues for them to ask questions and clarify anything they might be unsure about.
And what about the follow-up? How often should you be checking in on progress?
That really depends on the task and the person. Some folks are fine with less oversight, others need more frequent check-ins. The key thing is to stay consistent.
So you're almost tailoring your communication style to the specific person and task, right? There isn't just one best method?
That's right. And always make it a two-way street. Asking them about their understanding. If there are any roadblocks, what do they need to succeed? It's all about that constant feedback loop.
Makes sense. And then how do you give feedback, especially if there are issues? It has to be constructive, right?
Absolutely. It's not about being critical. It's about being helpful. Focus on the actions, not the person. And provide clear examples of what could be improved and how.
So it's like, hey, this part could be tweaked a bit rather than, this is totally wrong.
Precisely. Always start with the positives, then move to what needs improvement, and make sure you end on a positive note too. It's about motivation and growth.
And what about language to use? Any phrases that are super useful when you're delegating or giving instructions?
Yes, a lot of it is really specific. For example, can you please is always a good start for requesting something. To set a deadline, you can use phrases like, this is due on, or I need this by.
Okay, so clear, concise instructions, regular check-ins, constructive feedback, and a bit of English phrasing, it all adds up.
That's it. It's not just about speaking English. It's about communicating effectively in English.
Right. It is more than just translating words. It's translating the entire message.
Precisely. And it's about building understanding and collaboration, even when there's a language barrier.
All right, we've finished today's lesson. How did you find it? 理解できない部分はありませんでしたか? Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Please let me know your kanso or request in the comments. ぜひ Chenaru no toroku wo onegai shimasu. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. See you next time. Bye-bye.